safer for you. You know why? Every time, the 7 years I got a medical wreck, every time they said you need to smoke out of a bong because it takes half of the heat and the toxins out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's the best thing for you. Seriously. Even though you hate it and you get these really big fucking hits, that's because I loaded you a big fucking hit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Uh-oh.
I was trying to help you out.
Hey, Dustin. I guess I do have internet. I'm not really sure. So, we're just hanging out. Hey, Gracie May. So, yeah, just drinking a beer. I'm hanging out with Keith. He's right over here.
Just off screen.
Yeah, he's off screen. He's a little camera shy. We just got done smoking out. Smoked a bong rip of indica. I'm still like
Coughing.
Yeah.
Coughing and spitting.
So good to see you guys. Hey, Charlotte, Lisa K.
Man, you got the best fan base ever.
Hope everyone's having a great day.
Like
Brent Smith said, Brother Bird, Brother Keith. We just ate at Carl's Jr. Keith's all like, ugh. Me, I was like, yum.
Yeah,
Very good.
It'll help.
So, we're just chilling, drinking some beers. We were watching this surf thing, 100-foot wave. Watched the end of Wonder Woman.
You're giving away our whole damn day.
Sean Quinn. I've been camping out and there's no internet down there. I took a ride home last night and it was just like all dark.
So I'm giving.
Hey, go to.
I'm helping you out with a place to stay for the night.
Yeah. So Keith's gonna. Yeah. So get a fresh shower in the morning. But just wanted to stream and let everyone know I'm okay. Tomorrow I'm going to go to Eureka, so I will stream that and see what's going on. Look at this guy's rims. He's got fancy rims.
Oh, the green ones?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I thought my bike was nice. Cheers! Pepsi, yes. Undertow in Fort Bragg. Oh, is that right? Wow. I know around Oric, there's supposed to be a dangerous riptide. So you go further north, you get.
But you learn to swim those.
Oh.
You learn to swim them.
I don't know. Someone told me they're bad out there.
Well, they're bad, but you go sideways.
Yeah, I know.
You get out of them and then you go back in.
Yeah, so I don't know. Something about the way it is, but not here so much. We got sneaker waves once in a while.
When I lived in Newport, and I was waves, I saw a kid that was getting in trouble on a boogie board toward the jetty, and he was about to get sucked into the barnacles and disfigure him. And and I went and I swam him through a riptide to get him in. And when I got there, I was totally exhausted. And he got there, and it really upset me. He said, "Ha ha ha, whatever." You know, he had no idea that I saved his effing life, and he could have been disfigured for life. And I was like exhausted. And I get to the shore, and I literally beached myself like Tom Hanks in The Castaway. You know, he finally landed on the shore. I was like, it took me 10 minutes to recover. And the kid ran off like in the first 20 seconds. He was like, because I did everything I could to make sure he didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
You know, and I protected this like 13 or 14-year-old kid that
Yeah.
just dissed me, and it was I was a hero, but
I don't think we got any high surf yesterday because they had an earthquake in Alaska. I don't know how big it was.
yeah.
I got caught in a riptide on a longboard
Yeah.
right near the jetty in Hermosa Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same,
Right?
Yeah.
That
same
jetty right
idea.
there?
Yeah.
Got caught in a riptide. I'm on a huge surfboard, which I could barely paddle because it's so big. It's my
Yeah, what
friend's
were you,
surfboard.
like an 8-foot board or something?
Bigger.
Bigger
Yeah.
than 8? Oh,
Like a boat, right? Got no leash on it. So, you know, if I lose my board, I'm just going to
you're gonna
die.
drown.
Yeah. Right? Same thing. I felt like I paddled for, 20 minutes, half an hour, just trying to get back to shore. Finally got back to shore. But same thing. D-Wayne just laid on the thing with frayed. Oh, thank goodness, right? The surfer comes out. I was with my friend. He says, "Your friend doesn't show you what's up?" We're like, "No." He just took off. I don't think he said he wanted to hang around babysitting, but I didn't go back in. I was like,
No.
8.2 earthquake. Thank you for that, Sean.
8.2?
Yeah,
In Alaska?
in Alaska.
Where in Alaska? Help me out. I don't know
Keith
this,
wants
'cause
to know where. Hey, Charlotte. Keith wants to know where in Alaska.
because I watched the 1964 quake, like all of the video. Actually, there wasn't video; it was film. All the film that they had of the 64 quake and the tsunami that resulted, because the 64 quake was actually an uplift. And so what happens is when a wave, when the Earth goes up like this, like 15 or 20 feet, it literally creates a 20-foot wave, and that's for the backside. So that's like a 100-foot wave on the front side.
Okay.
And it took over Fairbanks. I think it was Anchorage or Fairbanks. I don't even remember because
took out one of the
really
cities.
drunk. But but it was one of those towns, and I watched the video where it took it out, and it was just incredible to see.
Wow.
It wasn't a tsunami like they had in Southeast Asia, where the water just comes up and it kind of comes in. It was a cresting wave that took over the city.
Okay.
It was like a tidal wave.
A tidal wave.
The wow, it was scary. And wow. So I saw that, and that scares me. So when I hear 8.2, and I think that was a 7 point something, I hear 8.2. That makes it even worse.
Yeah, but they said
there could have been a lot of people who died there. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah. Well, they said they didn't create any tsunamis. So
Okay, good. Okay,
here, we didn't get any sneaker waves. Thank goodness.
right.
Sneaker waves,
Yes.
It's like a baby
Well,
tsunami.
that's
It's
what
the same
happens
thing.
Whenever the ocean does this, whenever the
Yeah.
does this, it's going to create a tsunami.
Because we do have tsunami signs anywhere along the beach. Okay, we're gonna smoke out a little. Lisa K, hope you're doing well. So I have a salad here because I planned on going up north for a couple days. Pot I had, and some of it's not very good, some of it's good. So we got a salad.
You want this?
Not really. That's
Not
a
really.
leaf.
I throw it back.
Yeah, it's a leaf.
No, it was from your bowl. This is the same shit you're putting in there. It's at the ground and you didn't
Because
like
some of it's not trimmed, or it's like see, look at this nugget.
So it's all sticky.
It's like a weird
All
brown
stick.
color.
Yeah. Well, it's just, yeah, you can toss that. That's probably the shit you didn't want in
I
there.
don't know if that's mold. No, it's just a different strain.
Where's your cigarette butt? Throw it away. I'm gonna throw mine out. Did you save it?
Yeah.
Here, give it to me. Oh,
So how's everyone doing?
Thank you. Sorry.
Just want to let everyone know I'm doing fine. I have some stuff to take care of, so I have to go to the city tomorrow, so I cannot go on a road trip. Go get this taken care of. So, pretty sure we get internet over there. So I've been drinking coffee 3 days at the... trying to charge my phone. So these people have these presses or coffee.
I've been really missing your live streams at night. Take care and best wishes to you always. You're awesome. Heart Eagle.
Oh, Gracie May, thank you so much. I'm sorry my internet is scuffing. I really apologize. And we don't have any...
Do you want a pipe or do you want your rollers?
Thank you so much, Gracie. Sorry my internet is scuffing. It's still scuffing.
Instead of your...
I'll just roll a joint.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Gracie, you have a good night. I'm tired too. I'm gonna go to bed. I really appreciate your love and support.
I gave him a knockout indica, so he's gonna go down soon.
Yeah. Plus, I'm tired anyways. Last night I had a fire, and it was late and it was cold. So this morning was really cold for some reason. Wasn't that cold, but still. So after tomorrow, then I'm gonna head back up north, and I'm gonna get to Patrick's. Probably no internet. Big Lagoon, I hear there is a little bit, so we're gonna figure it out. Probably hit the other thing for a time being, because people along at the campsite, they met other people, and some people are coming back and they're gonna hook up and stuff like that. We're gonna smoke out, Gracie. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, because I went to the bank today. I could not cash my checks, so I have to go get my ID. And then I'm going to take another week off, pretty much, if I can, and then I'll start getting to work. I bugged this guy, but he hasn't contacted me, but I haven't texted him about that other job, because I told him I need a couple days and to call me, but he hasn't called me. Type to native. Wait, bird, you must use native. It is an Alaskan Indian name off the Panhandle. Chi-Ignit Islands. Uh-huh. Thank you, Sean Quinn. My internet is scuffing.
So I went in to teach a class today
Uh-huh.
with this internet,
Uh-huh.
and I think my computer was rigged out,
Uh-huh.
and my students said my voice sounded like minions. They were like,
Oh, really?
That agreed I sounded like a minion,
Uh-huh.
and they couldn't understand what the hell I was saying.
Uh-huh.
So I had to reboot my whole computer, and I went back onto a Canvas course,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't think I could do it, and I was able to do it finally, and I was able to get onto Canvas and see that there was a class in session and say join, so I was able to join.
Uh-huh.
I was like, because for 10 minutes my students couldn't hear me.
Uh-huh. So how did you do it again?
I rebooted my computer. I
Oh,
said,
you
okay,
rebooted
guys.
it.
And actually, I didn't say it because I tried to say it and they couldn't hear me.
Uh-huh.
I said, what? So
Oh,
I actually
okay.
typed it in the chat. Said, okay, guys, I'm sorry, but it isn't working. So I'm gonna turn off my computer and reboot.
Uh-huh.
And try to rejoin you.
Uh-huh.
So please stick around for as much as 6 minutes because it might take me that long to join in.
Uh-huh.
And and they stayed. They were all there when I came back.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was nice. It was like, okay, thank you, sorry. Said, okay, we can hear you now. You're clear. Okay, it's all good. So
Wow, that's a new world,
so I
huh?
literally had to reboot my damn computer. Man, that's scary when you're teaching a class and you're and it's college and they're paying you. It's like it was stress. It was stress. But fortunately, it worked, and I was able to get back in and join the because I was afraid I was going to lose them forever.
So what happened? What would you do if the internet died? It would be in. We would be in the.
I'd lose my job teaching online.
Would be in the back days or the telephone wire days.
I love this fog.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little foggy. You can see it, huh?
Oh, that's so good. I should stick another beer in the freezer for you.
Gracie, Charlotte. Well, I would think you have to stick to them buffaloes, Charlotte. Me, I like moo cows. I went to the casino the other day, locked up my bike, went inside, didn't get 5 feet. The guy says, you can't bring your backpack in here. So I said, can I get some cigarettes? The gift store was right there. He said, leave your bag outside. Left it outside and got my cigarettes, and I had to leave. So I could have threw it in my friend's car, but no, he was already in there. So no backpacks in this casino. So that was a little kind of rude, I thought, for whatever reason.
What casino?
Cherry Heights. And the reason why I think it is because I don't think they allow drinking in the casino.
They don't allow drinking?
Or, I don't know, maybe there is a bar. I went to one casino over here and there was no alcohol in it. Yeah. That was... Shit, where was that?
What casino?
It was a little south, like over there.
Wasn't Bear Mountain?
No, it wasn't Bear Mountain or Bear River. It's further than that. It was Ukiah or the town before that or something. A little native casino was there.
Okay.
My chat's telling me because Charla did this video where her sister won, and so Gracie's telling Charla that she always stands behind her sister, and her sister always wins too when they gamble.
Sisters, yeah. It's all you, babe. I can do it, but I just cough again.
Yeah.
Tiny little single indica cough. You can go to sleep.
We're just chilling. This is going to be a short stream because I am tired. What time is it?
Checking. It's only 9:30. 9:30.
Look, it's early. I've been at the campsite having a fire every night. And cooked some burgers. We didn't take any pictures. And then, all right.
We can't light a fire in the room.
Huh?
We can't light a fire in the room.
Yeah, so ate some salmon, bought some salmon, and then got corn on the cob, got potatoes, rosemary, put some garlic in there. That was really good for the salmon. And then I went to the market where they already had these patties made of cheese inside of it. So they were bacon cheeseburgers. It was all mixed up in there.
Oh, those are nice.
Yeah, went to Murphy's and got those.
I like Murphy's.
Yeah.
Actually. There's a Murphy's near my new house. Like a mile. And I hung out and talked to one of the guys.
Really?
Yeah, because I was explaining to myself because he was starting to watch me.
Uh-huh.
'Cause I was aisle walking and I was looking at prices and I was like putting on my glasses and looking at stuff. And he was looking at me and I could understand that he was wondering what the hell I was doing in his store.
Uh-huh.
And I said, well, I just gonna buy a place up there and
Uh-huh.
this is gonna be my market, so I'm checking it out. I'm checking the prices, and I can't believe how high they are compared to LA. I told him that.
Uh-huh.
He's like, oh yeah, and he said you could go to Winco,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, they don't have the produce and they don't have the meat quality that we have. And he's like telling me why I should go there. And I looked around. It actually looked really nice. Murphy's, okay? If you're ever in
The North
North, yeah, it's like Murphy's is a
is our market.
it had pre-prepared food, so I could buy myself a meal, like hot ribs or hot this or hot that.
Exactly.
It was,
Yeah.
it was good food. It didn't look bad. It was as good as I could find in
Yeah.
LA. So I thought, okay, yeah, I could survive on this.
So,
So how many lighters do you have? You have 2 blue ones,
uh-huh.
and you have that gray one, or that
Tan one.
tan, yeah.
I have an extra supply of lighters. Yeah, Sean. Some guy was making a comment, but then he spelt out the word, a bad word, but single letters, a racist thing, and so.
Did I say racist?
No, but, usually we get rid of those people or something, but sometimes they sneak it in like this guy.
I'm just
This
curious.
is a troll.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't anything that I said
No.
that was racist. Okay.
It's someone that's saying in the chat that just took over, wants some attention,
Okay.
said bad words to offend everyone, and they do that.
Okay.
It's a toxic thing. They're called trolls.
Hey, troll. Hey, I've been accused of being a troll myself. But I wasn't really. I was actually looking for action about something, which
Uh-huh.
was my high school reunion,
Uh-huh.
because they kept saying they could only, of our 480 people in our graduating senior class,
Uh-huh.
they could only contact like 160 of them. And I said, well, wait, didn't somebody make an oath at our graduation that
Uh-huh.
they were going to take care of this and they were going to follow the people? And there were a lot of people, and they took a big oath. But, who's in charge of this? And so immediately, all the people all the cheerleaders,
Uh-huh.
and I liked them when I was there. All the cheerleaders were saying, well, we've done everything we can to contact everyone, okay?
Uh-huh.
And what's wrong with you? And so they were calling me out for saying, okay, I'm sorry, but I work in the film industry, and someone has a job, they're supposed to do it, So what happened to the person? So I wasn't trying to be a troll. I was trying to call out
Uh-huh.
who the fuck's in charge here, because nothing is getting done. And I started trolling, or
It's
and
a
they called
different
me
kind
out.
of troll.
It was a whole different world, and I didn't understand because I'm too old to understand the social media world.
Well, they used to get rid of them.
And so I came out
they
as a
time
troll.
them out.
But I wasn't really a troll.
Uh-huh.
I was just saying, okay, guys, whose job was it?
Uh-huh.
Who was in charge? And they labeled me a troll. And
That's what they called you?
No, they shit, I'm a troll? What's
Uh-huh.
a troll? And I looked it up. 'Cause I didn't know what the fuck's a troll.
Like-
I was there just to make them feel bad. And I wasn't there to make
Oh,
them feel
okay.
bad.
Uh-huh.
I was simply there to say, wait a minute, somebody was supposed to be in charge of this. Who was it? That's
Uh-huh.
all I asked. I said, who was the person who
Uh-huh.
signed up to take care of our reunions? Because nobody's doing it.
Uh-huh.
You know, we only can reach 160. That's all we can do. And so finally, what happened was somebody else took over, and he was actually our
That's
dog.
right, Gracie.
Right on. Can I keep talking?
Yeah.
Okay. So somebody finally took over, and he called me and he talked to everybody, you know, and he called me and I said, well, you know, I was labeled a troll,
Uh-huh.
and I said only because I was trying to find somebody like you
Uh-huh.
who was going to take over and find everybody. You
Uh-huh.
know? And he looked. He said, well, let me get back to you. And
Uh-huh.
so he looked and. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
You know, it was just like, you know, who the fuck was supposed to be doing this? You
Uh-huh.
know? Why can't we contact more than 100 and, you know, like more than 30% of the people in our graduating class?
Uh-huh.
You know? Why can't somebody do that? Didn't somebody sign up for that? Oh, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't like they were dead. It was just like they didn't care anymore.
Uh-huh.
So that's, they called me a troll because I was calling someone out for not caring anymore about the
Yeah.
job that they agreed to do. It's like getting married and saying, I don't know. It's different because I've been divorced, so I can understand that. I'm fucking up your stream, man. I'm
No.
sorry.
Charlotte says,
Charlotte.
Gracie says, if you don't have anything nice to say to someone, then
Then what? Don't say anything at all?
yes.
I've heard that before. You know?
I
And
think
I've
it's from our gang, the Little Rascals.
No, I think
Is it?
it's one of the things that I was.
Oh.
It's an axiom. It's an adage that we hear all the
Axiom.
time. It's the kind of things that are like and
I
it's
say it
true.
too. I tell them.
And there's another thing like that I agree with, which is brighten your corner of the world. So brighten your little corner of the world. I think is actually a nice thing to think about. And I
But we
heard-
all need a little sunshine.
Well, it's actually, you know, don't just be a don't be a cloud. Be a ray. Be a ray of hope, a ray of light,
Yeah.
and things like that. But I was beyond. Okay, I'm old now, okay, and we're talking about my 40th reunion.
Uh-huh.
So we're all what is that? 57.
Okay.
We're all 57 years old, and we haven't had 58 years old,
Uh-huh.
and we haven't had a single reunion since our 5-year reunion
Uh-huh.
that everyone is invited other than the people that were popular. So we had a 5-year reunion,
Uh-huh.
and everybody was invited, and it was cool.
Uh-huh.
But the 10-year reunion, only like 80 people out of our entire graduating class was invited. So I never got an invite, and none of my friends got an invite. It
Oh,
was like,
wow.
you had
Hey,
you had
Squidward.
you had a reunion and you
Uh-huh.
didn't even call us. And I was like, well, what the hell? And so I was pissed. I was like, what
Uh-huh.
the fuck? You have these parties of the popular people,
Uh-huh.
and you all have fun, but you don't invite anybody else. That's not a reunion. And they said, oh,
Yeah.
we've had a reunion every 5 years. And I said, no, you haven't.
Uh-huh.
And that's why they called me a troll. I said, no, you haven't.
Oh, okay.
Because no one else was invited. You invited your friends. You
Yeah.
didn't invite the graduating class. You invited your friends.
Yeah.
And then they called me a troll. So,
Oh, okay. I get it.
I'm
Yeah.
a troll.
Yeah.
And the guy who
And
actually
what
took
school
over.
was this?
What school?
Uh-huh.
I went to Los Altos High School in the Silicon Valley, actually.
Oh, the
Los
Silicon
Altos,
Valley.
Mountain View, Palo Alto.
Okay, yeah.
Los Altos was like the.
That's a city.
Los Altos was a residential city
Uh-huh.
more than an industrial city. We didn't have any of
Okay.
that. We didn't have so many. You know, there's very few businesses in Los Altos.
Okay.
But so it's not like
It's weird.
Palo Alto or Mountain View or Menlo Park or all the places where all the tech is.
Uh huh.
It's a place where the nice place where people live to get away from that crowd.
Okay.
And the house my parents lived in, they bought in 1970 for $178,000, which they could barely afford. But they moved to California thinking things would be better. And when they sold their house in '78,
Squidward.
they sold it for $378,000. So they sold it for $200,000 more. But 2 years after they sold it, it was worth $1 million.
$1 million.
And now, right now, you can't afford to buy that house for $4 million. It's over $4 million.
$4 million.
For a house that was, yeah, it was on a quarter acre. It was it had a little pool, and you know, a couple of redwoods in it, and it was nice. But $4 million.
$4 million.
$4 million.
It's a lot of money. So that's got to be a really nice area. And the bay is
No,
tight.
it's not. It's because it's artificially high. San Francisco, you cannot rent a studio for less than $5,000 a month. A studio.
That's how come when I go down there and I see some cute little girl working at Starbucks, I'm thinking to myself, how do you pay the rent?
She lives in Pleasanton. She lives like 80 miles out, and she drives 2.5 hours a day.
I was like, how do you do that?
I don't understand. So I can't. That's why I moved up here.
Yep.
Because I
Gracie
couldn't afford
says
to live
the school must not be a friendly school. They should invite the whole class. Meanies.
there. Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed. No, I didn't mean to be a troll, but I agree with Gracie that, you know, I was one of the people that was excluded from the roster of people that were invited to the, quote, reunions that they had every year, because there were always 50 people that were, you know, and I'm not a, let me see, I'm not bitter at all, because I was actually friends with everyone. I was one of the few people in school that knew everybody in my entire class, and I was friends with everyone. I didn't care who they were or whatever. I was tolerant because, I don't know, whatever reason. I was going through high school angst, so I don't know what was happening. But I was tolerant of everyone, and I really wanted to know everybody. I wanted to know who they were and where do you come from, dude? Why are you in the chess club? What's that all about? That kind of stuff. So people, they didn't dislike me. Yeah, I was a swimmer. I wasn't a footballer or a track star or anything like that. But everybody knew me. Every single person in class knew me. And I was upset that I was excluded.
Yeah, of course.
With like the majority of our class was excluded. And
Because
everybody else came, you know, it's like, oh, we're going to invite the people that we know. We're going to call everybody we know. We're going to call it a reunion.
it sounds like a bunch of snobs.
And the problem I had, and this is the thing that I think one of the things that called me out as being a troll, was I said, none of these things you call were reunions. These were parties where you invited your friends. These weren't parties where you invited everybody, which would be a reunion. This was parties where you
that's
invited
what a
your
reunion
50 or
is.
60 or 80 people. Period. And none of the other people were invited, including me, and including all the people that I grew, you know, that were part of my group.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't agree with this. I don't think these were reunions. And then they said, oh, you're a troll. Oh, don't listen to him. So, you know, I didn't want to be an outsider.
Yeah.
And I felt like an outsider.
Yeah.
Actually, because I had teenage angst when I was in high school, I felt like an outsider. And that's probably why I knew everybody, because I didn't want to be, so I tried to find everybody. But at the same time, I don't know.
So what happened at the 50th reunion or the 30th?
Only the 40th.
Oh, the 40th.
I'm only 62, so
Okay.
we were
what happened at the 80th reunion?
It was. I graduated in '77. Our 40th was in 17. And the guy who took it over was actually our valedictorian.
I don't know what that is.
The valedictorian was the the greatest student in our school.
Oh, okay.
Was the valedictorian, and he actually gave a speech, which
Tiger's fine, Charlotte.
which I didn't remember because you know, it was graduation. We had all these champagne and weed and everything, so I don't remember. But I don't remember his speech at all. But I knew him because I knew everybody. And he actually took it on himself to do everything he could to find everybody. And so we actually had a real reunion.
Really? That's
we
awesome.
Had a real reunion.
So everyone got to see and mingle and
everybody got together.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people had died.
Okay, yeah.
AIDS took out a lot of our class.
Oh wow.
There were at least a dozen people in our 480 people in class that had died of AIDS.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding.
That's a lot.
I lived in the Bay Area.
Okay.
You know, they migrated to San Francisco. If they were of that ilk, they went up to San Francisco. I knew when I lived.
Well, I'm from Hollywood, basically.
I lived in San Francisco from '83 to '88.
Okay.
And I watched everybody die.
I only knew a couple of people that died of that.
Everybody died. No, I watched everybody.
Wow,
die.
that's crazy.
I worked in a hotel that had, I think there were 600 employees in this hotel. And at the kitchen staff, and I forget how many it was because I'm drunk. But we had a kitchen staff, and we lost. I don't want to exaggerate, so I'm taking my time. I think we lost at least 25% of our entire kitchen staff to AIDS.
That's worse than Corona.
It was, but it was the new era. It was also, I lived in San Francisco in the bohemian days where everybody fucked everybody.
Okay.
So it was kind of like, when I moved to San Francisco here, I'm going to tell you a phobic story.
Hollywood was so different.
When I moved to San Francisco, well, the Hollywood was very different.
Oh, what?
When I moved to San Francisco, I was very homophobic. I didn't like all these gay people, you know, grabbing my ass and picking at me and stuff, and I was really homophobic, and I was scared. I was scared, and I didn't know why. And I had this friend that I worked with that was a really good friend, and he was a tough, stinky, bearded Mexican dude, and I liked him because we worked well together. And it was a year and a half into our relationship working together, I was in the middle of telling a bad gay joke, okay, like a homophobic gay joke, and I was in the middle of telling him this joke, and I said, "Wait a minute, I never asked you this. You're not gay, are you?" And he goes, "Well, actually, I am, but I usually don't like to talk to people about it, you know. So I usually keep it on the DL, you know, down low." So, and it occurred to me, the whole time I worked with this guy, I was single and straight, and all the girls would come up to him and kiss him and hug him and say, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you, Richard. Richard, I love you so much."
Yeah.
And I'd like smile and wave in the background, and they'd say, "Oh, hi, Keith," and he'd walk away. And I was like, it never occurred to me that it was because he was safe and he was gay. And
safe?
He was safe. No, he was safe, and that's why they were. So
no, I have a friend like that too. All
I
the
was
girls,
totally
because
because
what
I was
is going on.
Because I was straight and I lived in San Francisco and I was desperately looking for a woman. I was not safe at all. I was.
Well, you just need to hang out with him, and he'll introduce you to all his girlfriends. That's what Steven does.
When I realized that he was when we had our moment, and I realized he was gay, and he said, "You want to come to my party that I'm having next weekend?" And I came to his party, and I was the straight guy, and everybody else was gay. I kind of assimilated everything in San Francisco.
Well, he was a different kind. My friend, you know he's gay. All of a sudden, you know it. Like there's,
well, since San Francisco, nearly every place I've lived, including San Antonio, Texas, and Dallas, Texas, and L.A., and I'll probably find someone here in Humboldt.
Hollywood, it's a given thing.
But
it's just the way
it was different.
All my girls were bisexual. All my girlfriends till I was 30 years old. I hooked up with this girl straight on the cock. I go, something's wrong with you. It was like, no, she's normal. It was like, something's wrong with this woman. Yeah.
Can I grab you another beer? So you can keep your.
Yeah, I want to use the bathroom.
Oh well, you gotta walk it in or kill it. I don't want to say. I can stand here in the background and let you run in for a minute.
Okay. All right, let me do that. I'm gonna take a time out and use the bathroom. Keith is gonna keep you entertained.
I'm not really. I'm just gonna.
I'm gonna grab you another beer.
Oh, whoa, baby. Yo, that was
And
a good one.
I'll grab myself one.
One of these babies.
Okay.
please. The small ones.
Okay.
Don't be long. I gotta go too. Woohoo! So here I am screaming for Blackbird while he runs off to take care of his biological necessities. I taught Blackbird not to ever throw a cigarette butt out. I think he used to, but since he's been around me, and I told him I haven't littered a butt in over 20 years, and I think it's wrong of anybody to do that, especially a Native American. I think he took it to heart, and I think he's been really good about not littering butts. And I'm sorry I'm not showing my face. I worked in the film industry, and I just learned to be behind the camera, and I'm never comfortable in front of it, so understand. So that's why I'm standing back here. And now somebody's driving past me, and wondering why I'm standing in front of 2 empty beer bottles and 1 empty beer can and some stuff in front of the light. And I'm sure they're going to wonder what the hell I'm doing here. So I may shut up for a minute and let you guys settle. Honey. Okay, I think those people left, so they're not wondering what I'm doing here anymore. Although there's another person pulling up. You know, when Blackbird was standing next to me, I didn't seem so conspicuous. I didn't feel so conspicuous. But without him here, standing here alone in an empty parking lot, waiting for him to relieve himself and come back here with my beer. It's kind of anyway, that's all. It is you. You got the hoodie on.
Yeah.
Who the hell is this guy coming at me?
This was a little cold.
Oh, thank you. I told the group how I felt out here being alone with all these people coming by.
Oh, yeah. Hey, everyone.
I was very insecure.
My internet keeps going in and out.
You don't have that weird minion talk, do you?
Yeah, no, it's just gonna, it'll, like if we're in conversation, you won't be able to hear it because it'll cut off or it'll start. And so it's spotty. And look, we're right here, pretty much. Cheers.
Party on, Wayne.
Yes, thank you.
You're supposed to say party on, Garth.
Party on, Garth.
I never knew that shit when it was happening, but I ended up seeing it in retrospect.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I don't know, it was probably some damn girl when we watched it.
Who is your favorite SNL or comedian?
Favorite's hard to say, but I really like the original
Uh-huh.
Not Ready for Primetime Players.
Uh-huh.
Like John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd,
Uh-huh.
Bill Murray,
Yeah.
John Belushi.
Yeah.
John Belushi was one of the seminal people that
Yeah.
made SNL what it is today.
My favorite is the Samurai.
Yeah,
guy. That was
Samurai
cheeseburger,
Sushi.
cheeseburger.
No cheeseburger, no Coke Pepsi, no Pepsi Coke.
Who was your favorite SNL thing? So that's what we're talking about.
One that comes to mind was the deer at the deer crossing, and they were afraid to cross the deer crossing.
Uh-huh.
And Bill Murray. Actually, there's so many that come to mind that just make me realize how cool it was.
Steve Martin. Charlotte says Steve Martin. Gracie says Chris Farley. Rest in
Yep.
peace.
Yep. All those people.
Uh-huh.
All those people. Actually, I was working at PepsiCo
Uh-huh.
for their promo things, and we were setting up a promo with Chris Farley and David Spade
Keegan? Michael Key? I'm sorry.
to be the new spokespeople for Pepsi,
Uh-huh.
and then Chris Farley died, so we were actually setting up huge marketing promos for Chris Farley and David Spade to be the new Pepsi dudes,
Uh-huh.
and Farley died.
Okay.
So it was actually kind of really epic where I was working in Texas at the time, in Dallas, for Tracy Locke / PDB Needham.
You
That
got
was
it.
the PepsiCo. I can't. Thanks. Yeah, so I felt Chris Farley.
Oh, okay.
I felt him. I was all into him. We were promoting him. He was going to be our thing. We were riding him to the top, and it was like 2 months after we started, he died, and so we never got it going. And we killed the whole project.
Okay.
And one of the hardest things for me as a producer
Uh-huh.
is to unproduce. So when you start something and you're doing it and they say, oops, you can't do it anymore, that's one of the hardest things in my life, is when you have to unproduce.
Charlotte said Martin Short.
Martin Short is a good friend of mine.
Oh, yeah?
Martin Short, I saw him, I worked with him on Father of the Bride, and I saw him like 10 years later. And when I was on Father of the Bride, I was a very young and green production assistant. And Marty called me Young Keith. And I saw him 10 years later, and he said, "Oh, Young Keith." From across the room, he saw me and he said, "Oh, Young Keith." And it was one of the coolest things ever that anyone's ever done for me. Was Martin Short recognized me 10 years later. And yeah, I love Martin Short. I love Steve Martin.
Uh-huh.
I love Diane Keaton. I love, you know who I love?
What about the guy that killed himself? I love him.
The guy who killed
Mark and
himself.
Mindy.
Oh, Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
Yeah, I didn't work with him. I never got to work with him. But
We got to meet him at, there's a coffee bar at Fred Siegel's, I believe, on Beverly. And
Yeah.
So we went to, get coffee or something to eat or something.
Mhm.
And he was there really nice in a suit. All like, I don't know if he went somewhere to, but really nice guy.
yeah. Yeah,
David Spade. Oh, Gracie
Spade.
said, so sad. I loved Chris and David Spade together. Gracie says John Candy was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy David Spade. I'll tell you a funny story. So my friends,
I
right?
love funny stories.
Yeah, so they went out to some bar or something, and they met David Spade, and so they were all excited because they're from a different state or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of
Oh my
fresh.
God. Yeah, well, from Ohio. And we had
Yeah,
David
it's like
Spade.
you
Oh my
meet
God.
celebrities all the time if you go out. So they came all the way from Hollywood, all the way up here to Lassen at the resort where I work to come see me and hang out, and party and shit.
The Lassen.
Lassen up here in Tehama
In the
County.
summer? Or in the winter?
It was in the summer. Yeah, I'm pretty
'Cause
sure.
I used to ski Lassen.
Yeah. So they came all the way up here, and I kept bugging him. What happened with David Spade? You know, because they were all excited and stuff. And then my friend he goes, "Oh, he just liked Joe. He just wanted Joe." And Joe was a young musician, good looking. All the girls liked him and shit.
Oh, so David Spade is gay, you're saying?
Yeah, so
Okay.
they didn't want to tell me because I was like, "Hey, what happened? You got David Spade's phone number? You know, it's like you guys hook up. What happened?" He's like, "Oh, he only wanted Joe." Oh, that was too funny.
Oh, that's scary. You know, I worked with who's the guy who got Me Too'd out? Kevin Spacey.
Okay.
I worked with Kevin Spacey at Kevin Spacey's house for like 2 weeks, setting up a demo or setting up a fundraiser that he was doing. Okay, and so I was at his house, and he was a weird guy. He's a weird guy, and I don't think I wouldn't say that he was hitting on me or anything like that, but it was kind of, I got some weird vibes from him.
Okay.
And he was always busy. He was always on his phone. He was always blah blah blah. You know, he was a consummate, you know, Hollywood professional, all the time. He's literally on his phone all the time. And he would look at me and he'd give me the eye or something, but he was on the phone. And so I didn't think much of it. But when he got Me Too'd out, it all made perfect sense to me. It all made perfect sense to me that he was he wasn't just a professional, he was a predator, you know, in his own way. And it actually didn't make me feel good. So I'm sorry, it's just a bad thing to say. You're giving me a bad look here.
Yep. My friend would joke and he said he thought it was a funny joke because he'd be at the comedy store or the comedy club or something. He'd go, "If you want to make it in the town, you gotta be gay or Jewish or something." Yeah, it was like, everybody is already hip to that. What, you think that's funny?
I was neither gay nor Jewish, and that's probably part of my problem in Hollywood. I made
See,
a
so it
career.
does ring true.
I made a career, I made some money, but I never made it rich. Because I didn't go to temple, and I didn't suck dick. Or take it up the ass.
Hollywood's really like that, huh?
But I never thought of it that way. I never, you know, to me, I loved everything I did.
Yeah.
I never questioned anything. It wasn't like, oh God, this town is terrible, it's blah blah blah. It was like, oh wow, I got another job, cool. I never thought about it.
Gracie says, "I'd love to meet Jason Momoa, Aquaman." I know who he is on the movie, but I don't know who he is.
I know somebody who is working on something, and they've asked me to work with them on a project with him. This is. I don't want you to think this is actually happening because I really don't believe it is. But allegedly, they have him involved on a project, and I'm supposed to be involved for it.
Really? Why not? That's a good opportunity.
Because the person that's involved with him is
Someone you're not comfortable with.
yeah, exactly. I don't think it's going to be a good project. I don't think it's going to be good. I don't think it's going to help me. I think it's actually going to, you know, taint me. And in Hollywood, it's, everything you do is about reputation.
Well, okay.
Every single thing you do is about reputation. So if you work on a bad film, you're a bad person. You know. You know. Oh, that film sucked. You know, it's on Rotten Tomatoes, number 10. You know, or something like that. It's like, oh man, he works on it. Oh yeah, I was producer. Oh yeah, well you suck. So,
But now the movie theaters are open. I think you could go see movies now.
did you see the
I think
headline
King
today?
Kong was the big one a month ago.
Did you see the headlines today? Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney for $50 million
What happened?
because she had a contract with Marvel that they were only going to release her films theatrically, period. And Disney chose to co-release theatrical and Disney Plus at the same time. And that cost her $50 million. And so she's suing Disney for $50 million, and that came out today on the news. And I think that is fucking cool.
So she got $50 million.
No. She was supposed to get, if the theatrical release was big enough, she was supposed to get a huge bonus of $50 million. But Disney queered the deal. Excuse the language. It's not a sexual thing. It's not a gender thing. But they fucked up the deal by saying, oh, you know what? We're releasing on Disney Plus at the same time. So if you want to see this, join Disney Plus. So Disney made huge amounts of money for all the people who wanted to see the film by joining Disney Plus instead of buying the ticket for the theater that would have made Scarlett her money.
Oh, okay.
So they degraded the theatrical release by giving it a Disney Plus release at the same time.
I see.
And that cost her up to $50 million, and she's suing them for $50 million. And I believe that she will win. I believe that she will win because she had a contract and they ignored it.
Oh, okay.
And that's Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood works like that. It's
Hollywood.
cutthroat, huh?
And you know what? She's with Colin Jost right now, so she
Who
needs
is
that
that?
money. He's the SNL, Michael Che and Colin Jost are the Weekend Update guys
Oh, okay.
on SNL today.
Wow.
And she was a host on SNL, and they hooked up.
Oh, wow, okay.
And they got married, I think.
Oh, wow.
If they didn't, they're like in a committed relationship, and
I seen her on TV when I was in the motel. She was on one of the morning shows or something on TV, but it wasn't a movie.
Johansson.
I'm pretty sure it was her.
Okay. She's the. You know what? I'd give anything to be Colin Jost.
Well, yeah. You're in love with her?
Yes. I love her. And you know what I love her in?
Oh.
The film Lucy.
Oh, okay.
Lucy. With Scarlett Johansson.
It
It's
could
the
have been
film that I fell in love with
another
her
lady.
in. I fell in love with Scarlett Johansson and Lucy. And I know it's a weird film, okay? But
You mean as their character?
no, the film's name is Lucy.
I Love Lucy.
No. The film's the name of the feature film.
Yeah.
Directed by oh my God, the same guy who did La Femme Nikita. I can't think of his name. He's a French guy.
So she played this movie, Lucy.
She was in this movie, and the name of the film was Lucy. L-U-C-I.
Yeah.
L-U-C-Y. Excuse me, like Lucy, like I Love Lucy, but it's just Lucy.
Yeah.
And the premise is, Lucy was the first. There was an ape in New York, in New York City or somewhere, and they said that the first semi-human was named Lucy because it was an ape that was semi-human, so that was a human-like ape, and they named it Lucy.
It looked human or it seemed human?
No, they just so that was the name of. So basically, she was like the first human, and there was a new drug that they were making, and they were trying to take. It was.
He's explaining a movie
I can't
to me.
speak right now because
Scarlett Johansson.
I'm sorry, I drank too much. But the film is Lucy.
Who's your favorite?
And it's really cool.
Gracie loves Jason Momoa. Who else? I'll tell you one of my favorite characters are like, I just love her. And so it's a character, you know, but I still love her as an actress too. But is Miss Annabelle Bransford in the movie Maverick. It was Jodie Foster.
I love Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
I wish she wasn't gay. Actually,
So she plays this country thing in this country movie that's a comedy, and I just love her character, Miss Annabelle Bransford, and the way she talks and everything.
I love Jodie Foster to this day, even though she's a lesbian, and even though I can never have her, I love her.
Yeah.
And I actually saw La Femme Nikita.
Uh huh.
I'm trying to remember the damn director's name. I'm sorry, I can't.
Okay, look, someone said something. Luc Besson directed
Luc
the movie
Besson.
Lucy.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Thank you so much. Because
Thank you,
Luc,
Charlotte.
Luc with the L-U-C, Besson, B-E-S-S-O-N, I believe.
Yeah.
Luc Besson, and he directed La Femme Nikita, and he also directed Lucy. And Lucy is an Americanized version.
Uh huh.
It's actually, I love that film, and I actually show that film in my visual storytelling class.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I show that film every quarter in my visual storytelling class, because it's about. Well, no, I'm too drunk. I'm sorry, I can't say it.
Okay.
But
this.
I love Luc Besson, and I watched the film 3 times in theaters. It's one of the 2 films in my life that I've ever watched 3 times in theaters. And the first one was Terminator 2: Judgment Day, and the second one. Or
No
maybe it was the
fate but
first
what we make.
Yes. So, and the second one was La Femme Nikita, because I loved it so much.
Okay.
And it was a French film, and so it technically wasn't perfect all the way through, you know, in a Hollywood sense, but it was so effing cool. And who is it, Gracie? It's so effing cool, Gracie, that
Charlotte said that Gracie says Jason Momoa is married to the oldest daughter, Lisa Bonet, from The Cosby Show. He was on Game of Thrones too. Lisa Bonet was married to what's his name? Lenny Kravitz. Right?
Oh wow. Wow. Okay.
Luke, I was thinking because
I gotta go pee. My turn.
Okay.
Sorry.
The movie,
You're on your own.
I think it's The French Kiss. I love that movie, right? So he's all Luke. It's all Luke. Or however he says. And then I love some of the songs he sings on the soundtrack. That was the Star Wars guy. He was a Jedi or something. And then I forget who played the Miss. No, I can't remember. Oh, she was a great actress too. What's her name? Do you know who plays the female? What's her name in French Kiss? She was really good in that. I think she was in Top Gun too. Step Brother? I don't know that. He went inside to use the bathroom. I don't know. I don't know who it is. I did not follow the Game of Thrones. Hey, JR. How's it going? We're just drinking beers outside. Not really a whole lot going on. Maybe we can roll one more joint. I'm burnt out. I've been partying and like drinking and smoking pot like all day long for 2 fucking days. Okay, first it was Sunday, and then it turned into Monday or Tuesday, or whatever. It rained, so I couldn't go anywhere. And then hanging out with these old timers, right? 20 years old, drinking first thing in the morning. So I'm like, fuck that. I can hang with you guys. Like, no. 2 days, I'm like washed out. Fuck. And don't drink anymore. Like, say I drank 3 beers this morning. Like, whatever. This is my 4th beer right now. It's just like, not used to drinking in the day. Maybe Sundays. Meg Ryan. Thank you, Charlotte. That's what it was. Love her in that. Hey, JR. So we're talking about who's your favorite, like, actress or someone you really have a thing for. Or the character. You know, I love Natalie Portman as the queen of all the Jedis. You know. Yes, JR, good to see you. Hey, Sean. Who's your favorite, like, actor or something that you might have a thing for? Like, character or something, you know? Meg Ryan, she married Antonio Banderas. Cheers. 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 Oh, cheers. So, I'm a little drunk and I've been drinking for 2 days. As you can tell, I'm starting to sound like a pure alcoholic. I don't want that. Shoot. So that's a little hardcore. Shoot. I don't know how people could do that. Eva Mendes and Salma Hayek. Right on, JR. And what movies do you like them in? Sean Quinn loves Betty White. She's awesome. Valentine's Day, huh? Wow, that's neat. Well, me, I also have a thing for Reese Witherspoon, or whatever her name is. And, of course, Jennifer Aniston from Friends. And love Julia Roberts. Yeah, she a little bubbly. Winona Ryder. Yeah. I forgot what movie I like her in, but Beetlejuice, she was adorable, but I was more into Beetlejuice because I love Beetlejuice. He is such a freak, right? And he's so funny. And my favorite Batman was Michael Keaton, right? Who thought Beetlejuice, right? But that's just me. I don't know who's your favorite Batman. Hey, non-existent. How's it going? Yes, we're doing good. We're just chilling out. We're doing a whole lot of nothing. We're just. Who do you have a thing that might be a movie star, you know, or one you might, you know, think they're your favorite actors or whatever. So we're just basically talking about movies, or you could say what's your favorite movie, but right now it's actors and actresses. We started off with comedians. Human beings. Nicole Kidman co-produced a TV series. Oh, wow. Candace Beer. Oh, I don't know who that is. Nicole Kidman. I could have swore I met her. Yeah. And have her coffee cup still in my storage somewhere. I think Tom Cruise fucked up, right? He went for this other cruise girl, and he fucked up big time. Do you know who Candace Cameron is?
You asking me?
Uh-huh.
No. I heard the name maybe, but
We're talking about who people like as actors and actresses and stuff. Gracie says Nicole Kidman and Reese Witherspoon co-produced a TV series in a beautiful part of California. Christian Bale was my favorite Batman in The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger, my favorite Joker. That's Charlotte.
mm-hmm.
Right on. Who was your favorite Batman? I think he was Batman 3 times or something.
I can't say without without creating conflict.
Heath Ledger, he really pulled off the Joker. Huh.
That was his final role.
Yeah.
He killed himself during the Joker.
During? They didn't finish?
No, they finished, but
Yeah, they
but it
finished.
was after he was in his
after.
persona and he couldn't get out of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was very sad, actually. You know, actors have to really get into a role,
Uh-huh.
but they also, for their own sanity's sake, have to be able to divorce themselves from it.
Uh-huh.
And if they can't, they end up becoming that character. And that's no good. And that's what Heath was so evil in that character that he let himself as an actor go all the way into it.
Uh-huh.
And as a human being, he couldn't recover from what he had done to himself.
Mm.
That's how I see it. And I feel for him, and I feel for the film, and I feel for the performance, and I feel for all of it. So I really respect and cherish and love all the things about his performance. But at the same time, I don't think anybody's life is worth the performance.
I haven't even seen the new Joker movie with what's his name.
Oh, with
He played
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did see it.
It wasn't Joaquin Phoenix. It was the other guy.
No, Joaquin Phoenix played the.
Oh yeah, it was him.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Mhm.
River Phoenix. He died.
Yeah, River died.
Yeah, it was that guy, Joaquin. He
You know-
was the king in Gladiator, right?
I think he might have been. Yeah,
Yeah.
He was. Yeah, that certain. No, the king maybe, but not the opponent. The
No,
opponent
that
was some
was-
other guy. Yeah, the
Yeah.
opponent. I didn't
And then
like.
he was, he was Johnny Cash. Too, he played Johnny Cash, right?
You know the film that
Joaquin Phoenix, right? He played Johnny Cash, right? You even sang.
I don't know. I didn't see every film that was ever made. God's sakes, I was a filmmaker, but I didn't. No, I can't.
It said they made a TV series, Nicole Kidman, Big Little Lies in Malibu. Have you heard of that?
I heard of Big Little Lies. Yes,
Yeah.
I heard of it. Yeah, I don't know what to say about it because I don't know anything about it. So I apologize. I'm ignorant of it completely. See, why didn't you want to take that hit?
Cher, I think, still lives in Malibu. Tom Petty used to live down there. He used to buy his wife flowers at the flower store that's not there
He
anymore.
died, didn't
Yeah, on the PCH.
he? He died on PCH?
No, but I heard that he would go to this flower store that was on PCH in Malibu. I forget what it is. It's the main thing, but it's not there anymore. And he would buy his wife flowers all the time.
Every day.
Well, yeah, whatever.
They're
was
awesome.
around.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then I did get a killer picture because I saw him 3 times, but didn't get any good pictures. I gotta look at my storage. But this one picture in Malibu, there's a really good display in the mall part where Starbucks is, and I got this killer dedication display to Tom Petty in the reflection.
Mhm.
And fuck, that was
Okay,
just
cool.
killer.
Post it.
I have to dig in my storage. I have like years of photographs, thousands of celebrities. Like if I showed you, you'd probably go, "Oh, this is that person."
Your stream probably wants to see it.
Yeah, but it's a lot of work. I have to dig it out. It's gonna take me half a day.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to dig you in the hole.
A
there.
truck to move it, and or at least have a place where I could take a little out at a time and go through it, and then get rid of what I don't want, stuff like that. Cheers, everyone! Cheers. Yeah, Charlotte said he was Johnny Cash. Cheers.
The big
I love
thing.
Reese in that.
I love
because
Reese Witherspoon.
I've seen her. Well, I found this thing. It was a wreath. I put it on my truck, and it was a wreath, and it had a picture of her pretty face, and it had a bunch of melted spoons on it.
So it was Reese Witherspoon.
So it was called Wreath Witherspoon,
Reese
or
Witherspoon.
Wreath,
Reese
yeah,
Witherspoon.
Wreath Witherspoon. I put that on from my truck. I said that's what I want for Christmas. But I love her, so I got her on my Instagram, and I said, I like beer, you like beer. Let's get together and drink some beer. Let's go. Time's wasting.
And she replied?
Not yet. Maybe I should say that every day. She'll go, okay, shut the fuck up. Don't bother me.
You know, the thing that made me really sad about Reese Witherspoon
Huh.
is because I loved her all the time. I really thought she was a fabulous woman.
Uh-huh.
I really thought she was great,
Yeah.
and I still do. I
Uh-huh.
don't think anything less of her at all.
Uh-huh.
But I heard that what she had to do to get to Hollywood was go through Harvey Weinstein.
Okay.
So she was one of the people who spoke out and said, yes, you know, I had to go through that too.
Yeah.
So whether she just watched him in the shower
Uh-huh.
or whether she helped him in the shower or whatever, she had to go through that to make her career. And to me, as a Hollywood producer,
Uh-huh.
that makes me really sad.
Yeah.
It makes me really sad that someone
Uh-huh.
had to do that.
Uh-huh.
Because I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
But that's how Hollywood started. It was a casting couch.
No, it didn't start that way. Because the predators came in, just like they did with the internet.
Huh?
Just like the hackers with the internet.
Uh-huh.
It's the same fucking thing. The predators found, oh my God, the most beautiful women in the world. How do we get them? We make something up. We create a thing. And I actually knew people in Hollywood like that. And I avoided them completely because I didn't want any of their stuff. I ended up working on films where the producer's girlfriend was the star.
Uh-huh.
And she wasn't any good.
Yeah.
But he was, excuse me, can I say this? He was fucking her.
Yeah.
So he made her the star.
Yeah.
And we tried to film her and we tried to make her a star. But she wasn't. And
Yeah.
she couldn't be because she wasn't any good.
Yeah.
But she was good in bed for the producer.
Yeah.
So I hated those films. I didn't hate them, but it was hard to make those films because I realized what it was. You're seeing all kinds of reactions to my
Gracie
rant.
says, I'd love to meet Shia LaBeouf or however he spells his name. Reap
Shia
with
LaBeouf.
the spoons.
I-
Mr. Moat.
What's that?
This guy, Mr. Moat. They got weird names on here.
I truly like Reese. I think she's wonderful.
Uh-huh.
But you know, the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life on film, Grace Kelly. Grace Kelly in Rear Window. Grace Kelly.
Yeah.
Grace Kelly, Princess Grace. She married the Prince of
Oh,
Monaco.
yeah. I know who
and
she
she
is.
became Princess
Yeah,
Grace.
she's a prince.
And she stopped
Princess.
making all films.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she was I think of all women that I've ever seen
Uh-huh.
in the world on film, she's the most perfect.
Okay.
She's the most perfect. It's back in the 50s,
Right.
for God's sakes. Before I was born,
Uh-huh.
she was already beautiful.
I like
Barely before I was born, but before I was born.
like what I find like the most, other than Miss Annabelle Branford, but the way what's her name dressed in Breakfast at Tiffany's in her role.
No, I can't. You got my fifth beer, dude. I can't
Breakfast
tell
at Tiffany's. So I'm in love with her, but that's way before my time because she's 50 years older than me. But
But you know what?
what's her name? I think she is like
Breakfast at Tiffany's. Come on, guys.
so adorable and the most sexy but beautiful, and
It's
love her
not-
character.
It's not Kim Novak. It's not.
No, they wanted to get Marilyn Monroe to play it. I think she would have not did as good.
Don't let me leave that, okay?
What's her name? Charlotte said Grace Kelly was stunning.
Yes, she was, and truly, to this day, I'm in
Yes,
love with
Mr.
her.
Mo. Audrey Hepburn. And Audrey
Audrey is
Hepburn.
very cute.
and yeah, cute.
And
And then
Audrey is
with her hat and her cigar thing and
she's
just
real.
her little.
The thing that Audrey portrayed was real. She was a real character. You believed that she was a person.
Yeah.
Every
she's-
character
uh-huh.
that she played,
Uh-huh.
you believed that she was that person. And
Uh-huh.
I really, I agree. Yeah. To me, she wasn't a heartthrob,
Uh-huh.
but she was definitely an admirable,
Yeah.
beautiful, and
that's what I read about
desirable.
her.
And all, you know, she wasn't
Uh-huh.
a heartthrob. She wasn't what do you say, a vixen, but she was definitely someone that you wanted to be with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with Audrey Hepburn,
Uh-huh.
and I hope they heard that. Someone you wanted to be with. You actually,
Hey, DBG.
you loved Audrey.
Right on, DBG. Yeah, we're just chilling. I'm hanging out with Keith tonight. We're just smoking out, drinking beers.
Getting cold here, man. Jesus.
Yeah, we're about to end it. we're talking about actors and actresses and stuff like that, DBG. So, you know, who do you like, or who do you think's sexy, or what character do you think's awesome? You know, like who's the worst bad guy? I think Darth Vader is one of the best bad guys. So, your favorite bad guy, is it the Terminator? Is it the dinosaurs? Is it the Martians? Who's your favorite, like, whatever?
Favorite or most hated? That's the question.
The best bad guy or something.
They stuck with you for being
Yeah,
so hated.
like the Joker. It could be the Joker. Like a villain. The best villain.
Yeah, there you go.
Or whatever.
Thanks for naming it. I was afraid you were going to...
Charlotte loves Marilyn Monroe.
You know what? Yeah, I did a show
Uh-huh.
where we had a Marilyn Monroe lookalike,
Uh-huh.
and we chose in Hollywood of all the best Marilyn Monroe lookalikes,
Uh-huh.
and we had this woman. Sorry, I don't mean to seem sexist or anything, but we had this woman that was the perfect Marilyn Monroe.
Uh-huh.
Everything about her was perfect. She did have to put on the mole. She
Uh-huh.
had to make the mole, but everything else about her was she was exactly Marilyn. She had the persona, she had the feel, she had the vibe and everything, and she was Marilyn.
Uh-huh.
And we used her and we cast her.
Uh-huh.
And I was friends with her for probably a decade after that.
Uh-huh.
And she was something else. She was really truly made her career out of looking like Marilyn.
Uh-huh.
And she was lookalike, and she did all kinds of stuff. She had an agent, and
DeBeege says, I like Mike Myers and Dana Carvey in the
Yes.
Wayne's World movies.
yes, party on, Wayne, party on, Garth.
Gracie says, Sally Field was very attractive in her younger days. What was it? Smokey and the Bandit?
You know what?
Oh, my mom used to watch her, The Flying Nun.
You know what?
I remember that. The Flying Nun. My mom used to watch that shit.
Sally Fields. I liked her, and believe me, I was young when she was the Flying Nun and all that stuff, and I didn't even know what sex was then, but it was something about her.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sorry, I'm being really honest here, but when I saw her in Steel Magnolias, Sally Field, and she might have won an Oscar for it.
Okay.
I'm not sure. She won something, but I saw her in Steel Magnolias, and it made me so. Her performance made me so intensely upset.
Okay.
It affected me so much
Uh-huh.
that it was, I think, the most powerful. This is Sally Field, probably the most powerful performance I've ever seen on film was Sally Field.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't even Meryl Streep in Sophie's Choice, okay? It was Sally Field in Steel Magnolias, because she was angry, and she expressed her anger at about being essentially about being a woman. You know, I'm so angry about this, and, rah, rah, rah. And you felt it, and it was so powerful that I really, to this day,
look.
I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what she said, but I just remember being affected so deeply by it.
Mr. Moat says Beverly D'Angelo. Who's that?
Wait, Beverly D'Angelo, is she? Is she? Griswold's wife? Beverly D'Angelo?
This
Yes.
one's, is it? This
Yes.
one's really good. Oh, one of the best performances.
What?
Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, of course. Yes,
that
yes.
was classic.
What about Clarice? What about?
Yeah, she was really
I
good
never
too.
I started to tell my story about Jodie Foster, and also about Luc Besson, and my watching the third time I watched La Femme Nikita, his first American film, which was to me the first the first shot in that film was so intense that you can't stop watching it. And until 2/3 of the way through the film, everything is so action, adventure, cool that it's incredible. And then the second half of
National
the second act,
Lampoon's movies. Beverly D'Angelo.
Yes, exactly.
He got it right.
She was a Griswold. Yeah,
A Griswold.
Yeah. And you know what? Every Christmas, I try to watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation because to me that's the
classic.
That's the coolest holiday show that I know.
That's funny as shit. That's great.
And I'm not just classic. Being arbitrary here. My mom had a Christmas shop. My mom had a store that was, quote, year-round Christmas store in Los Altos called The Little Lamb. The Little Lamb. It was called The Little Lamb Christmas Store.
Wow.
And for probably 2 decades, probably only maybe 10 years, maybe 12 years, maybe 15 or whatever. She had this store. She had another store that branched off into Santa Cruz, and she tried to sell her Christmas stuff there. I was going to say Christmas crop there. Sorry. She never made a lot of money. She made a profit several years, but it wasn't a lot. It was like, okay, whatever. But she loved it, and it was her thing. And one of my things in my family is I inherited all of her Christmas stuff. Yeah. So I have a truckload. Not quite. I have like shitloads of her Christmas stuff that I can't throw away because the family probably wants it. You know, I have.
We could make a Santa Claus village with it.
No.
We could have a Santa Claus village.
She had some high-end stuff. She had a whole bunch of Henris and things like that that are actually worth money now, but not a lot. It's like, you get $50 for this and $40 for that. It's like, okay, but are we going to sell my mom's? So basically, I have to offer it to everybody else in the family first and say, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? And if nobody else wants it, then I sell it off. And we split it and we say, okay, this is what we get. So it's a task I don't want to do. And I told you when I'm moving into my house, one of the things is
villain Scar from The Lion King, and the guy from The Shining, and Darth Vader. The Shining was.
The Shining. Oh yeah.
That was what's his name? I saw him at a porn
Nicholson.
star convention.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson. Met him at a porn convention. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I have a really cool Jack Nicholson story. It's a cool Jack Nicholson story. And this was Jack Nicholson hadn't been interviewed in like 20 years. Since he won the Oscar, nobody interviewed him. He wouldn't grant any interviews at all. And finally, this guy got to interview him. And I think it was like from the Rolling Stone or something like that. It was whatever publication, whatever magazine, whatever news thing, whatever it was. The guy got to follow him for 3 days. And Jack Nicholson went to one of the nights. They went to the club, the Venom or Viking or whatever the
Viper Room.
Viper Room. They went to the Viper Room, and he had his table in the back. And so he walked in, and everybody moved out of the way, and he sat down, and he's there in his room, and he's got it in his back seat, and he's in the power seat. Okay, you understand? He's looking at everybody else in the club. He's all the way in the back, and he's there watching everybody. And he's got his glasses on, his hat, and everything. He's pretty much incognito as much as ever. But people know who he is. So this girl walks up to him and says, "Hey, you want to dance?" And he looks, and you have to understand this. He looks at her eyes,
Uh-huh.
And he looks down at her body, and he looks at her tits, and he looks at her ass, and he looks all the way down,
Uh-huh.
and he looks back up slowly, and he goes through the
Good stuff.
the girth and the cleavage, and he looks back to her eyes, and he goes, wrong verb.
Oh,
You
yeah.
want to dance?
Uh-huh.
Wrong verb. I don't want to dance. I want a
Uh-huh.
different verb. What would that
Yeah.
be?
Okay.
Wrong.
Uh-huh.
So, can you imagine?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I've said some cool things in bars,
Uh-huh.
but never anything that fucking cool.
Yeah.
It was like, excuse me, you want to dance?
Uh-huh.
She's like, and you look at her
Uh-huh.
up and down, you look
Yeah.
her all the way down, you look her all the way up, and you pause at the
Uh-huh.
right parts, and you look back and you say, wrong verb.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah.
That somebody could say.
It's like, do you mean dance in a different other than a verb?
No,
or?
no, it's not the verb. Change the verb. I want to do something, but it
You
ain't
mean like
dance.
as a verb, right? Dance is a verb?
So that's stuck with me, and there's a few things I heard. Speaking of acid, I listened to a whole bunch of stuff in Southern California about oh my God, I'm spacing. The Doors. The Doors.
Uh-huh.
Who's the singer of the Doors?
Morrison.
Morrison. I have his books. I have like 5 of his books. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So I know him, but I was like spacing. I was totally blanking. It's this
IPAs, big
the
IPAs.
Big IPA, the Big IPA.
The big little thing IPA. That's 9% Sierra Nevada.
Yeah, this is for the big boys, and I'm actually not as big as I pretend to be, so it's fucking me all up. But
Oh, you want to hear about the poor convention? He act like he just talking to everyone in a hoot, like kind of like he is on TV or in the movies, wild, crazy, and just want to hook up with porn stars, like all of them. And drunk, just kind of in his wine shirt or short. Nothing of that. It's just like, oh fuck. Well, shoot, I have to use the bathroom again.
should we kill this?
Yeah, I think so. So, chat, we would love to thank everyone for dipping in and dipping out. And I'm sorry, I have to use the bathroom, and I'm tired. So I'm going to call it a night. Tomorrow, we will go to Eureka and see what's going on. So,
I got it.
just want to say goodnight to everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. Gracie, thank you so much.
Hey everybody, I'm just Keith, and I'm standing here and I'm actually hanging out with Blackbird, and happy to be with all of you, and I really appreciate the things that you said back and forth, and the interaction that I had with you guys. So this is all new to me, and I don't understand it, but it was heartfelt. So thank you. So good night.
Yes, awesome. It was good that you guys all joined in and we had a little chat conversation, because you know me, I get drunk and I don't pay attention and like whatever. The internet doesn't work. We got Chinese internet, all kinds of whatever.
Don't you dudes have a nickel?
A nickel?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
No, I don't have a nickel.
I'm trying to get a soda and it was a
How
fucking
you doing?
pretty good yourself.
Oh, they wouldn't let you slide for a nickel?
No, not in a machine.
Oh, that's a machine.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah.
No worries. You want the change back?
No, it's all. You're good. JR says respect to Keith. Mr. Mo, I've been drinking for
Respect.
like a week straight.
And I want to say respect to JR too,
He says respect to you, JR.
because I've heard his name come up so many times, and he's helped you a lot. And
Yes.
and I appreciate that.
Charlotte says thanks for the stories, Keith. Loving you,
You're gonna
Charlotte.
suck me into this, aren't you, bud?
Peace out, Bergang. Have a good night, JR. Loving you. Yeah, Charlotte, loving you. Everyone have a good night. Lisa K, Gracie, Go To Pepsi, Sean Quinn, Yes. Oh yeah, this one's empty. Miss Remote. Oh. Oh, thank you. Tabiji. All right, have a good